of that matters to me. And the problem with it is you combine that with the fact that I'm teaching creative writing. And creative writing is about building drama and about conflict. So I can't teach things like, political intrigue or racial, disparagement or whatever without talking about it. So I do apologize, and I always start off by saying, first of all, these are my opinions. There is no right way to write. I'm a firm believer that if you had a brilliant idea for a story, you sat down with Stephen King, and you told him your story, and he said, this is the exact way to write it, and you wrote it exactly like Stephen King told you, it would suck, because you're not Stephen King. What works for me, works for me. So do understand, I don't present anything in a way that this is the be-all, end-all, you have to do it my way. These are ideas. Secondly, there's always an alternative way of looking at things, even from mine. I'm just trying to open your eyes. And the last thing is don't get offended. This is all just a figment of your imagination. That's what we are talking about here. Also, for me, the biggest heartache that I hear new writers do is they take advice as gold. Always ask yourself this question. As you're going through this process of learning how to write, always ask yourself, what does this do for my story? I don't care what it does for you. What does it do for me? So if you're sitting down with Stephen King for lunch and he says, this is awesome, this is how you should do it, you should say, great, Stephen, that sounds awesome, but what does it do for me? Because that doesn't mean anything to me that it works for you. So whatever you learn today, whatever you learn in this field, always ask yourself this question. I always do start off with a little quote that kind of ties into what I'm talking about. Be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. I'm talking about heroes. That's what it's about. It's about developing your heroes and the hero's journey. The thing that a lot of writers miss is creative writing is about resonating with the readers. You have to do that. I was talking to some writers not too long ago on Goodreads, and somebody actually made the point. They said, well, you talk about three-dimensional characters, and you talk about ramping up tension, and you talk about all this stuff, but in the real world, it's not like that. I meet a lot of real people that are two-dimensional. There's a lot of times in life where tension is high, and then it levels off. Why can't I write that way? And I said, because this is the reason people read this is to escape that trap. Yes, we all have two-dimensional people in our lives, but we don't want to read about them. We want to escape them. So one of the things you want to do as you're thinking about your plot is you want to create a story that resonates with the reader. And this class is pretty much ripped off from Joseph Campbell. If you guys have not read Joseph Campbell, I highly recommend that you read some of this stuff. The book that I'm pretty much plagiarizing is The Hero with 1,000 Faces. If you've read that, I'm just going to pretty much reiterate it. But basically, one of the things that he said was, throughout the ages, the fundamentals of storytelling has not changed. There were common threads through every story that will reach out and grab the imagination of the reader. How many people